Welcome to Growth Happens in the Dirt, Chapter 6, Part 2. I wrote this book for survivors of concussion, traumatic brain injury, and their families, which is now available on Amazon in Kindle and paperback format. The new normal. At home, we started to settle into the new normal. In the mornings before the children went to school, I walked around with my noise-cancelling headphones and wore silicone earbuds anywhere there were humans. The wins for the day were 1. Making my bed, 2. Showering, 3. Doing the rehab. My hat never left my head, and if I was outside, my sunglasses were on. Days blurred into each other, and each week the specialists would arrive and leave. I was doing the rehabilitation exercises daily and then would need to sleep to regenerate. I had come completely off social media, TV, and reading, and I noticed how much even talking exhausted me. When my friend came home talking about her day, listening to her felt like worms eating into my brain matter. My kids enthusiastically bounded home after school inside and were immediately shut down to be quiet around the mama. One day, my friend, who was still living with us, sent a video of a news article illustrating a building in burning flames somewhere else in the world and showing people screaming. I cried for 4 hours after seeing the content. When I mentioned this to Vicky, the occupational therapist, she suggested I avoid watching the news to protect my brain space. My emotional filter, the ability to disconnect from the outside world, was extremely thin. I felt like a raw human without any skin to protect me from words or thoughts. I avoided seeing anyone apart from my immediate circle because whenever I spoke with others, it made me very tired. One friend came out to share some local gossip, but after she left, I felt physically sick from the conversation. The world continued without me, and I was in a bubble of healing. I was there, but not there, and it became accepted that whatever was happening with the family would not include me. The children would ask, "Is Mum coming with us?" And my husband would reply, "No, she has a sore brain." Social gatherings, sports days, any type of outside event, I would be left alone in the house on weekends and my husband would take the kids. A blessing though, because every time I was in a car, it triggered my concussion symptoms. Tools. Protect brain input. Talking and listening may be hard right now. Your emotions will be riding high, and it is imperative to protect your brain while it's healing. It is crucial that the right ingredients are in place. Know what triggers you and what makes you feel better. Avoid what hurts your brain and harness what helps. Never-ending work. The therapist came every week, and I would get another exercise, take something else out until I was devoid of most things that I could use as a crutch. I didn't have much to look forward to. No social activities by choice, no coffee, no chocolate, no alcohol, no cigarettes, no TV, no iPhone, and no computer. But I still had carbs. And suddenly my salty snack cravings were on, making myself feel better by eating more potato chips, bread, and crackers. The team gave me handouts for my husband to read, which gathered dust. Multiple whiteboards were placed around the house to help me plan and pace the day, post-it notes to remember where I was and what I was meant to be doing. I tried to engage my husband to plan the week with me, but he resisted. I would forget that his role of saving our business was a big job as my life box got smaller. Yet, when you have no control, there is a tendency to try to create more. I started to obsess over the whiteboard. I felt I needed to know exactly where my family was, when they were out of the house, and all I had to focus on was myself. There was no world outside my four walls. All my normal parenting duties were delegated. Between my husband, friend, and parents, the cooking, cleaning, and children were done. I had no formal responsibilities. All I had to focus on was getting better. But I was still in pain and angry. I had no gratitude for what was being done for me. I just focused on what I didn't have. I wanted my old life back, and the rehab exercises were making me feel sick. Every day felt like a mountain of pushing uphill, and all I wanted was someone to fix me. I was so tired of everyone telling me what I had to do to feel better. Where was the magic bullet? Despite all the painkillers, the migraine pills, the antidepressants, the nerve inhibitors, and the ADHD medication, nothing felt as if it was working. I wanted control, but planning my rehabilitation and appointments were the only threads to humanity available. Tools. Use a diary and whiteboard and calendar. In your diary, or get your support person to do this, write down the tasks that are important to do for you the next day. Schedule any specialist appointments as soon as they come in and make a habit of reviewing this first thing in the morning. Use a calendar to make sure you schedule your appointments ahead. This is crucial for your support person to know what is happening as well. And what can be helpful is to write up what the whole family is doing if you live with others during the week, so you are aware of when people are in and out of the house. And I would add, use a physical diary. I've had clients before who are trying to use their phone and it creates another barrier. A physical diary is tactile. You can look forward and you can look backwards. So I'd recommend getting a hard copy diary to use daily. Tool. Why planning is important as a household. Depending on the severity of your concussion, you may be in a place where you have little else to focus on. Your appointments may be the only real outside social interaction in your day, and it's very easy to lose time outside these things. By planning the week, you can start to see that there are things to look forward to and start to regain control again. How this helped me. 1. Each night, write down in your diary one thing you would like to do the next day, e.g., weed the garden for 10 minutes. 2. Know what the family is doing so you can actively understand what is happening in their world. 3. Focus on planning your rehab at a time when you can rest afterwards. For example, 10 minutes of rehabilitation, then 10 minutes resting in the cupboard. 4. Planning allows you to start to recreate structure in your day when initially there may be none. 5. Routine helps us to feel like we are grounded and in control. Writing down the main things you need to accomplish that day. Shower, eat, brush your teeth, and then ticking them off helps to build a sense of achievement. Thank you for listening to Growth Happens in the Dirt. I'll create part 3 of chapter 6 for you next week. Keep shining.